in these times of great inflation, I'm going to be talking to you about 5 great dive watches that you can buy right now for less than $100. I know what you might be thinking, these are all Chinese homages, and you would be wrong and right. Wrong because among the 5 watches that we are going to be seeing, only 2 are homages and the other 3 are fully original designs. We are going to have to establish some rules as to what we are calling dive watches. First of all, we're going to be talking about watches that have at least 20 bar of water resistance, so the equivalent of 200 meters, so pretty much enough for recreational diving. And number 2, the watches will need to have a rotating bezel so you can basically time your dives. In this channel we discuss watches that are great deals, so that offer amazing quality for low prices. So if that is something that you were into, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and of course to check the links in the description below. They're affiliate links, so it means that if you click on them, a little bit of commission comes to this channel, which helps me keep them alive, so thank you very much if you do. Now let's see about the watches, and we're going to be starting by the least expensive to the most expensive. And of course, the first of them, I am certain that you have heard about it. It is one of the most famous diver watches, let alone diver watches below $100, even below $50, because the version that I've got here, that I have linked in the description of the video, comes at $49. It is of course the Casio Duro. And this is the version with the little marlin that we like so much. The dimensions of this watch are 44mm in diameter by 12mm in height by 49mm in lug to lug and 24mm in lug width. The watch weighs about 92 grams in spite of its gargantuan size, and that is thanks to the rubber strap. You know the Duro. If you follow the channel, I have talked about it, I recommended it extensively. It is a modern classic. It is also a pretty watch, quite classic, let's say, but that is why it is so appreciated. The design is nice without being a copycat of anything else. It has its own identity. It comes in many different colors. You've got your classic black, but you also have blue, you have green, and you even have some that have bicolored bezel inserts. The construction of the head of the watch is fully stainless steel, 316L stainless steel. At these price points, some other brands will use brass. You've got a construction that you know is going to withstand the test of time. And also you've got a 120 click bezel rotation, which is pretty good for the price of the watch. The negative points, of course, we're going to be talking about the negative points of all these watches. It is first of all the size. At 44mm in diameter, it is not going to be wrist friendly for people who've got smaller wrist than, let's say, 6.5 inches, 6.75 even. That is why Casio released a smaller version, a quite smaller version of 36mm in diameter quite recently, but that was a flop. Second aspect, it has a mineral glass, and then the bracelet it comes in is not really supple. It can break in, but it will take time, so that is why some people try to replace it with something better. But all in all, these are amazing watches that sell like hotcakes, and for a reason. At number 2, let's start with the first homage of the selection, the Steeldive 1970 or Willard Homage. And that will cost you only $75 for one of the, maybe the best value on AliExpress, as myself and many other YouTubers have called it. Why? Because here you've got a watch that is of course a homage, but to a much older reference Seiko and with amazing specifications. Just listen to these. You've got a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating. You've got a ceramic bezel insert, which is loomed as well. You've got a Seiko NH35 beading inside it. And you've got a combination of Swiss Superluminova, C1 and C3, and plenty of it, which makes it that this watch has excellent luminescence for a watch at any price point. All that for only $75. What's more, the bracelet is fully made out of solid elements. The clasp was updated from a pressed clasp to a solid clasp, which was a great move, especially because the price wasn't risen. On the negative sides, of course, this is a Homage, so if you're not into Homages, just go to the following watches. I have left chapters in here. It is quite a big watch at 44mm in diameter. However, it pulled a Seiko trick, and the log-to-log is quite small, which means that it will fit most wrists, medium and big sized wrists. And of course, you've got a 70s design here that might not be to everybody's taste, but if we see how many of these watches have been sold, you can tell that this design has a lot of good days ahead of it. The second and last Homage of this selection, this is the Cadisen C8207. This is a homage of the very first Seiko diver, the 62 MAS or 62 MAS, and it is priced at $77 on AliExpress. The dimensions of this watch are 38mm in diameter by 12mm in height by 46mm in log-to-log by 18mm in log width. You have a choice of 3 colors. You've got a sunburst blue, a sunburst black gray, which is just like the original, and you've got a kind of white beige. On the positive aspects, you also have here a fully stainless steel construction with a great bracelet, which is oyster style and made out of solid elements, including of course the links, the end links, and all the elements of the clasp. The luminescence is wonderful. I couldn't swear, but I'm pretty sure that it's C3 Superluminova. The movement here is once again the Seiko NH35, which is just wonderful at this price point. The bezel is 120 clicks, and the bezel insert is ceramic, of course. On the negative side, like the Wheeler before, this is also a Homage. So if you're not into that, well, this watch will not be for you. I know that this watch has male end links, which may make it that it wears a bit larger than that 38mm log width could imply. But this is a very nice watch that is sure to impress you, especially given its price. The next watch is the Casio MTD-1053D. This has been a pretty new discovery. Some other YouTubers have talked about this watch. $82, it is a bit more expensive than the Duro, but it gives you a stainless steel bracelet and a different design. You've got 2 colors, sunburst blue and a slightly sunburst black. The dimensions are 40.5mm in diameter by 11.9mm in height by around 48mm in log-to-log by 20mm in log width. It weighs around 140 grams, and that is because of the full stainless steel construction. Some might say that this watch resembles a 50 fathoms because of the big Arabic numerals on the dial. I don't know what to think. Maybe that was deliberate, maybe it wasn't. For the positive points, you've got a construction that is fully in stainless steel, including the bracelet, something the Duro does not boast. The dimensions are very reasonable, once again compared with the gargantuan Duro. And of course, even though you've got that apparent resemblance with the 50 fathoms, it is an original design. The negative sides, you've got a mineral glass. The bracelet is fully pressed metal. Nothing is solid, not the links, not the end links, not the clasp. And you've got a weird rotating bezel of only 90 clicks. You know, those kind of rotation where you can never set it right where you want it. Make it 60 or 120, Casio. Anyway, this watch seems really quite good on paper. I will be having one soon on the channel to review it myself. I will give you all the details you need to know. The last watch of the selection was one that impressed me very much. I was going to talk to you about the Invicta Pro Diver 8926, or another Pro Diver with an automatic Seiko NH35, which are homages to the 5-digit Submariner that are below $100. But then I ran into something quite special for Invicta. I had never heard of this watch before. It is the Pro Diver 7041, which is on sale now for $88. And listen to this, it is a Diver's 200, so the only watch of the selection and one of the only watches that I know that is a diver's watch below $100. And look at the design. I wouldn't say it is attractive, at least to my taste, but it does have some interesting elements. Check the bowl-shaped dial and the 12 o'clock marker. That is quite reminiscent of a Seiko Monster. Look at the rectangular indices and check those modernized cathedral hands. You also have a date display. There are certainly some elements of the Seiko Monster in here. On the positive aspects, well, it is a diver's watch below $100. That is pretty much a feat. It has an original design that is not horrendous. That is also a feat for an Invicta. And it has Invicta's proprietary flame fusion crystal, which is a technique that is supposed to make it harder than mineral crystal, although tests prove that it's not much harder, and still it is better. And it has a full link bracelet. So there's many things in here that for the price are really good on paper. On the negative sides, that dial design is pretty busy with those big indices, those numbers on the dial, the big Invicta logo, the date display, courtesy of the Seiko NH36, I did not mention that on the positives. In good Invicta fashion, the loom is poor, and the end links and clasp are made of pressed metal. And yeah, you also have that big Invicta etched on the side of the case that many people do not like. But there you go, it is a watch that intrigued me, because on paper you get a lot for a watch that is below $100. If you know of other diver watches, real diver watches, that are below $100, please do let me know. Thank you so much guys for having watched the video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be leaving you with other great watches that you might like, and also with watch advice. Which watches not to buy. I'm gonna leave those videos here so you can watch them. Thanks again, and I'll be seeing you on those videos or on a next video very soon. Goodbye.